I don't drink alcohol. I think it tastes nasty. That's just me. And I never acquired a taste for it. People would tell me, I know it doesn't taste good now, but acquire a taste for it. And I'm like, why would I do that? But okay, I still think it doesn't taste good. So I don't drink. Some people do. What you've got to realize is when people leave their home or leave a restaurant or a party and they've been drinking, they never have an intention on going out and killing somebody. But you know what ends up happening? Usually there's an accident and the person who's intoxicated, they come to court, they're crying, they're devastated. And guess what? Application for community supervision with your attorney. Did you understand it and did you sign it?
Yes, Your Honor.
With regards, I have before me a motion to substitute counsel. Bobby Leahy.
He's with my friend, Judge.
All right. Are you all asking me to grant this motion?
Yes.
All right, that will be granted. And Mr. Castillo, the attorney who's here today, that's the attorney you wish to represent you?
Yes, ma'am. Yes, Your Honor.
Showing you what's entitled True Bill of Indictment. Did you review that with your attorney? Did you understand it?
Yes, Your Honor.
Counsel, do you waive the reading of the indictment?
Yes.
State, are you proceeding on the indictment as presented? Mr. Castillo, I'm showing you what's entitled Court Admonishments and Defendants Waivers and Affidavit of Admonitions. Did you review that with your attorney? Did you understand it? Did you sign it in all the appropriate places?
Yes, Your Honor.
Did you understand you're charged with driving while intoxicated third or more? That's a third-degree felony. Range of punishment is anywhere from 2 to 10 years in prison and up to a $10,000 fine. Did you understand?
Yes, Your Honor.
If you have a plea bargain agreement with the state, the court does not have to follow your plea bargain agreement. If for any reason the court does not follow your plea and gives you more than you bargained for, the fact that you entered a plea will not be used against you and you will be allowed to withdraw your plea. Did you understand?
Yes, Your Honor.
Did you understand you have a right to jury trial, a right for you or your attorney to cross-examine and confront any witnesses the state would call and the right to remain silent?
Yes, Your Honor.
Did you understand by entering this plea, you were giving up those rights?
Yes, Your Honor.
And did you intend to give up those rights and enter into a plea in this case?
Yes, Your Honor.
Counsel, has your client been able to provide you with any defenses?
Yes, Judge.
Do you believe he has a rational as well as a factual understanding of the charges against him?
He does.
Do you believe he's currently competent and was legally sane at the time of the offense?
Yes.
Mr. Castillo, has anyone threatened you, coerced you, or placed you in fear to get you to enter the plea?
No, Your Honor.
Anyone promised you anything other than the plea?
No, Your Honor.
Are you satisfied with the way you've been represented?
Very satisfied, Your Honor.
Are you a U.S. citizen?
Yes, Your Honor.
Court will find that defendant has knowingly and voluntarily waived his right to jury trial. And off the record for a moment, did you about the Veterans Treatment Court? And then after I finish this plea, I'll take your case up.
The state is right before you.
All right.
May I approach?
Yes. You're welcome. All right, did you review we're back on the record. Did you review the plea bargain page with your attorney? Did you understand it?
Yes, Your Honor.
According to the plea, punishment is to be assessed at 4 years in the prison. There's a $500 fine. State recommends community supervision. The DWI intervention course, VIP, driver's safety course, 2-year driver's license suspension, and ignition interlock for half the term. Did you understand that to be the plea?
Yes, Your Honor.
Defense, is that the plea?
That is, Judge, and we have 2 issues we wanted to discuss with you prior to completing the plea.
All right, state, is that the plea?
It is, Your Honor.
Showing you the waiver of appeal paragraph. Did you review that paragraph with your attorney? Did you understand it? Did you sign it in both places?
Yes, Your Honor.
Did you understand by signing that you're waiving your right to appeal? The only items that can be appealed are written pretrial motions that have been filed, heard, and ruled upon by the court. Did you understand?
Yes, Your Honor.
Counsel, have there been any such motions?
No.
Outside the agreement, state is requesting that your community supervision be for a term of 4 years. There be a TAP evaluation, 180 hours of community service restitution. Did you understand those are recommendations from the state and the court does not have to follow those recommendations?
Yeah.
Then to the offense as charged, how do you plead? Guilty, not guilty, or no contest?
No contest.
State, any evidence?
Your Honor, state exhibit number 1 with all this attachment.
Any objections? All right, state, you may be excused to continue to confer. Showing you what's entitled waiver and consent to stipulation of testimony and stipulations. Did you review that document with your attorney? Did you understand it? Did you sign it in all the appropriate places?
Yes, Your Honor.
Again, did you understand you have a right to jury trial, a right for you or your attorney to cross-examine and confront Any witnesses the state would call in the right to remain silent?
Yes, Your Honor.
Did you understand that today the state will be presenting evidence in the form of witnesses' statements and police reports, but most importantly, there'll be no live testimony? Did you understand?
Yes, Your Honor.
Court will find that defendant has knowingly and voluntarily waived and consented to stipulation of testimony and stipulations. Court will accept into evidence states exhibits 1 and attachments, and the court will review the same. Exhibits 1 and attachments, the court will find there is sufficient evidence to find you guilty, and the court will find you guilty. Are we proceeding with sentencing?
Yes, Judge.
Anything you wish to say on behalf of your client?
There's just a couple things I want to bring up with regard to the plea bargain. Is this the appropriate time to do it?
Yes.
Okay. One is that my client has a funeral to attend between Tuesday and Thursday of this week.
Yes, sir.
Okay.
And so he and his family intended to travel to Brownsville, and his sister was going to be the driver. So currently he has ignition interlock installed on his vehicle, in which he's required to blow twice a day. So I'm asking for the court's permission for him to travel without his vehicle between Tuesday and Thursday to go to his grandmother's.
Grandmother's.
Father's
mother.
Okay. And next issue, or is that the only issue?
No, there's a couple other ones.
Okay.
The other one is that if there's 10 years jail as a condition of probation, I'd ask that he be able to use an ankle monitor instead and travel to and from work, between work and home. And then I'd like to ask the court to probate the $500 fine.
All right. And when is this Brownsville?
Excuse me?
Brownsville, when is that?
When?
When?
So the service is gonna be on Wednesday, but we plan to leave on Tuesday and come back on Thursday.
All right, state, do you have any objection to them driving a different vehicle and not his vehicle to Brownsville? He's saying that he will not be driving, that it will be the sister.
Judge, I think it's just a question of whether the courts are comfortable with it. I'm not opposed to it, but I'd like to, if he is gonna do that, I'd like an affidavit of non-driving to be filed with the court.
Okay. So here's my question. Why can't your sister drive your vehicle?
I mean, right now it's not really that dependable. I had to have it towed with the interlock frequently. So it's kind of not safe. The startup will make it not turn on if it turns off.
All right, probation, any suggestions? Everyone, please whisper.
Saying that the car is inoperable.
Well, I mean, it turns on and off. I took it to the service center and it says it's the starter. I've been able to turn it on frequently, but there's moments when it won't turn back on.
So let me ask you this, is it possible to have him get a portable for while he's,
No, Judge, that will just incur like while he's gone to Bronzeville, no, that will be like way too much money. We could do a drug patch while he's gone.
okay.
But the car situation is, I do have a couple more questions.
Yes.
So do you drive any other vehicle?
I've been getting rides.
Oh, okay.
Yeah, so.
All right, so just one second. Everyone. We're still on the record. So if you all will talk not in front of the inmate box. All right. Yes.
Okay, so you've been getting rides everywhere?
Well, just to work and home. I mean, that's all I can do right now.
But you're still blowing into your.
Yes, I mean, as regards to turning on and if I have to from the pre-trial probation, I've been doing it twice a day.
All right. This is what I'm going to do. I'm going to ask for an affidavit of non-driving. We're going to do 30 days GPS, partial for work in lieu of the 10 days in the Bear County Jail. There's a $500 fine that will be probated. Sentence you to 4 years in the prison, suspended and probated for 4 years. Proof of employment within 30 days. What do you do?
I'm a process assistant for Amazon.
All right. There's to be no employment as a home healthcare provider or with minors. Do you have any children?
No, ma'am.
180 hours of community service restitution. If you wish, you can buy those out at $7.25 per hour. I recommend the San Antonio Food Bank, but I just do that because there's usually a shortage. But if there's another charity you wish to donate you can,
Yes, ma'am.
but not the human fund,
Yes, ma'am.
Not the one.
the human fund. You've never seen Seinfeld. It's a made up charity. So there's to be regular reporting by Zoom or in person, regular UAs. Defendant is allowed to travel to Brownsville with a patch, and only if you've done an affidavit of non-driving. So if that affidavit of non-driving is not in, you cannot attend. You understand?
Yes, Your Honor.
And that is to be Tuesday.
Yes.
Leaving tomorrow.
We'll be planning to leave in the afternoon and then speak for the sheriff for Wednesday.
All right, so that's Tuesday, January 9th through, you're coming back on Thursday?
Yes.
So I'll do it from Tuesday to Friday.
Would I need a report if I get here earlier, just for work purposes?
Oh, if you come back earlier, just call probation and let them know.
Okay.
So that's the 9th through the 12th. And that's because you never know what happens at funerals, but you're anticipating being back on Thursday. So if you're back on Thursday, then you're back on Thursday. But sometimes I've discovered that funerals turn into family reunions, really.
Thank you.
All right, so that'll be Tuesday through Friday, no driving, and he's to have a patch. I'm gonna want field visits one time per month for 3 months, and then thereafter at probation's discretion. Do a TAP evaluation, follow results. I personally think he's going to need intensive outpatient treatment. So if they ask for inpatient treatment, we'll start with intensive outpatient treatment. If they ask for outpatient treatment or sober support, I still want intensive outpatient treatment. And there's going to be 90 sober meetings in 90 days. The only exception to those 90 and 90 is if he's in Brownsville and something's up where he can't do those for those 4 or 3 days. Probation, is there anything else he needs?
Your Honor, did you mention the DWI?
Oh,
course?
I am so sorry. That is so true. I was focused on Brownsville. All right, there's to be the DWI intervention course, VIP Live. There is to be the driver's safety course, 2-year driver's license suspension, ignition interlock for half the term. Anything else, probation?
No, Judge.
All right, anything else you need from the court to be successful?
No,
Going to show you what's entitled Trial Court Certification of Defendant's Rights to Appeal. Did you review that with your attorney? Did you understand it? And did you sign it?
yes, Your Honor.
Because this is a plea bargain agreement, because I followed your plea bargain agreement, and because you waive your right to appeal, you do not have the court's permission to appeal. Because this is a felony conviction, you're not allowed to own or possess any weapons or ammunition. If you have a question over what a weapon or ammunition is, you'll need to speak to an attorney. Do you understand?
Yes, Your Honor.
All right, we can go off the record. I seen your past. There's some DWIs, right?
Yes, ma'am.
You are probably a person who cannot drink alcohol at all. I don't drink alcohol. I think it tastes nasty. That's just me. And I never acquired a taste for it. People would tell me, I know it doesn't taste good now, but acquire a taste for it. And I'm like, why would I do that? But okay, I still think it doesn't taste good. So I don't drink. Some people do. What you've got to realize is when people leave their home or leave a restaurant or a party and they've been drinking, they never have an intention on going out and killing somebody. But you know what ends up happening? Usually there's an accident, and the person who's intoxicated, they come to court, they're crying, they're devastated. And guess what? The person who wasn't drunk, the soccer mom or whoever it is, they either have major injuries that they'll never get over, or you end up killing somebody. Do not be that person. You cannot drink alcohol at all. And while you're on probation, you can't drink alcohol. Do you understand?
Yes, Your Honor.
And if there's something that you need, you feel like probation is not addressing that issue, you can come back to court. All right.
Yes, Your Honor.
And see, do a referral. We're going to do a referral to felony drug court. Just see if they'll accept him. Felony drug court would probably be what's best for you. Okay.
In State of Texas versus Mr. Castillo, a man charged with DWI third or more stands before the judge asking for a second chance. He pleads no contest, avoids jail, and is placed on 4 years probation instead of prison. The judge allows him to attend a family funeral, orders GPS monitoring, ignition interlock, alcohol treatment, community service, and strict supervision. One mistake could send him to prison, but today the court chooses accountability over incarceration. Like, share, and follow for real court cases explained simply.
You have more evidence to present?
We do, Your Honor. I'd like to supplement State's Exhibit 1 with a sheet that I've showed to defense counsel. That sheet identifies the arrested person as Christian Bartales Bonilla. And then in the notes, it says he refers to the defendant as AP.
All right. Any objection?
No objection, Your Honor.
All right, then then the court will accept state supplemental evidence for the waiver and consent to stipulation of testimony and stipulations. And the court will add it to that document. After reviewing state's exhibits 1 and attachments with the supplement, the court will find there is sufficient evidence to find you guilty. The court will defer finding of guilt as you've applied for deferred adjudication. Are you proceeding with sentencing?
We'd like to, Judge, if we can.
Anything you wish to say on behalf of your client?
Only that he's ready to do probation. And he would like to see if he can get early termination.
All right, Mr. Bonilla, I saw that you were traveling in the car with a relative. Do you have any children?
Sí tengo.
Yes, I do.
How many and what are their ages?
Tengo dos. Uno tiene 5 años, el otro 7.
I have two. One is 5 and the other one's 7.
All right, and do they live with you?
No,
All right. When's the last time you were employed and what were you doing?
Trabajé un día antes del 4 de septiembre porque era día festivo. No lo
I
trabajaba.
worked before September 4th because it was a holiday,
Y trabajo la plomería.
and I work in plumbing.
All right. This is what the court will do. The court will sentence you to 2 years deferred adjudication. There's a $1,500 fine to be probated. Proof of employment within 45 days. There should be no employment as a home health care provider or with minors. 120 hours of community service restitution. Court will order parenting classes. Regular reporting by Zoom or in person. No illegal entry into the United States. Regular UAs. Probation, is there anything else? All right, I'll throw in a driver safety course. We can do field visits 1 time per month for 3 months. But we'll see if he's still here. All right, Mr. Bonilla, is there anything else you need from the court?
No, solamente.
No, that's it.
All right, did you review the document entitled Trial Court Certification of Defendants' Rights to Appeal with your attorney? Did you understand it and did you sign it?
Sí.
Yes,
Because this is a plea bargaining agreement, because I followed your plea bargaining agreement, and because you waive your right to appeal, you do not have the court's permission to appeal. Do you understand?
Sí.
yes.
All right, good luck to you. We can go off the record. Do not come back to the United States unless you are here legally. Do you understand?
Gracias.
If you come back to the United States and you're not here legally, that's a violation of your probation. And you will be looking at potentially 10 years in the prison. Do you understand?
Sí, sí.
All
Yes,
right,
I do
thank you.
understand.
Thank you.
Igual.
Maybe excuse her?
Yes, we're back on the record and Brittany. Court is calling 2023 CR 5393, State of Texas versus Joshua Espinoza. Could I have parties announced for the record for the state?
Jason Deerhan, Your Honor.
Defense?
Brandon Lopez for Mr. Espinosa.
And are you Mr. Espinoza?
Yes, ma'am.
Okay. You are here for sentencing. You entered a plea of no contest on September 22nd. I'm sorry, September 26th to the offense of robbery. The enhancement was waived. The court found there was sufficient evidence to find you guilty. And now we are here for a TAP evaluation. I'm sorry, and now we're here for sentencing. A TAP evaluation was completed. Have both parties had a chance to review the PSI report and TAP evaluation? State?
Yes, Your Honor.
Defense?
Yes, Your Honor.
Any objections to the TAP evaluation?
No, Your Honor.
Any objections to the PSI report?
No, Your Honor.
All right, state, according to the plea bargain agreement, the state is silent on your application. Punishment is to be assessed at 6 years in the prison. Defense, do you have any witnesses?
We don't, Your Honor. This argument.
Anything you wish you want to say on behalf of your client?
Yes, Your Honor. I've represented Mr. Espinosa for quite some time now. I've gotten to know his family. Mr. Espinosa, we did make sure to do some mental health evaluations in this case and and specifically looking into his PTSD from the past and those issues. He is suffering from those issues. He has various run-ins with the law, a former trip to the penitentiary. He does suffer from bipolar, from PTSD, from anxiety issues. I believe the recommendation in the PSI, or one of the recommendations, was that he'd be a good candidate for DDRF. I spoke with my client about that. He would be open to doing DDRF if the court were to grant probation. Otherwise, he's just asking for an opportunity to prove to the court that he's capable of living outside in society and being a productive citizen.
All right, so part of my concerns is his criminal history.
Yes, Your Honor.
And he has a previous aggravated robbery and a previous assault case. And he's been on probation before, and his probation was extended. I just don't think he's a good candidate for probation. I tell you what, let's do this. I don't think he's a good candidate for probation. I do understand that there are mental health issues, and for them to say that they want DDRF tells me something. It tells me that his mental health is such a state that they want him to be in inpatient.
Right.
So let's do this. We're gonna come back at 1:30 and I'll make a decision then.
Okay.
All right, so we'll come back at 1:30.
Thank you, Your Honor.
All right, everyone, we're gonna go on recess.
Yeah.
And we're gonna come.
For me, so.
Oh, well, so you and your husband are just getting into arguments because he says in the police report that you have a meth problem.
He's a liar.
Oh, well, then you all do not need to be together. So there's no reason for them to see each other or be together because she's saying he is not telling the truth about her drug use.
They don't currently reside together, Your Honor, but they do probably need to co-parent the children, but
There's to be no contact, so you'll have to co-parent through someone else.
For my son, probably.
that's fine, Your Honor.
All right. Is Child Protective Services involved?
They were at the beginning. Case was closed. I went out to Guardian Angels and did classes on my own. They asked me to do psychology test, and I did all that when this first case started. So all I have to do is go back and get all the paperwork or however.
All right. And what is her criminal history?
Your Honor. It's not extensive, Your Honor. You just, one moment, Your Honor, I can pull that up very quickly.
Your Honor, she referenced to me that she's never been in trouble but for this, just before the court today, but I'll let him confirm that.
Yeah, previously, she had 3 cases in Bear County, Your Honor, but they were all closed. I don't believe there was any adjudication of it.
All right. So you all proceeding with a conviction?
that was what, yes, Your Honor.
All right. So there'll be 1 year in the Bear County Jail, suspended and probated for 2 years. Take in consideration 2023 CR 8932. There's an affirmative finding of family violence. There's to be 80 hours of community service restitution. When did you complete the parenting classes? Did you ever do parenting classes?
No, because I wanted to get the children with me and have them, but there was no communication between me and their father, so I had to have his permission as well.
All right, I'm gonna ask for parenting classes. There's to be, once you complete the parenting classes, the community service hours will be deemed to be satisfied. There's to be no contact with Timothy Amaya. Proof of employment within 30 days. There's to be no employment as a home health care provider or with minors. I'm going to want a TAP evaluation, follow our TAP recommendations. If TAP recommends inpatient treatment, we'll start with sober outpatient treatment, sober support. There's to be regular reporting by Zoom or in person. There's to be regular random UAs, or either she can do the patch. There's to be the BIPP course. Field visits. 1 time per month for 3 months. And then at probation's discretion. Probation, is there anything else she needs?
No, Your Honor.
Is there anything else you need from the court to be successful?
No, that I can think of right now.
All right, I'm showing you what's entitled Trial Court Certification of Defendants' Rights to Appeal. Did you review that with your attorney? Did you understand it? And did you sign it?
Yes, ma'am.
All right, because this is a plea bargain agreement, because I followed your plea bargain agreement, and because you waived your right to appeal, you do not have the court's permission to appeal. Because this is an affirmative finding of family violence, you're not allowed to own or possess any weapons or ammunition. If you have a question over what a weapon or ammunition is, you'll need to speak to an attorney. Do you understand?
Yes, ma'am.
All right, we can go off the record. If anything comes up and you feel as though probation is not addressing it, you can always come back to the court. Do you understand?
Yes, ma'am.
All right, good luck. Emmanuel Delgado. Can I have parties announced for the record for the state?
Daniel Escobar for the state of Texas.
Defense?
Jerry Valdez Jr. for Mr. Delgado.
Are you Ralph Emmanuel Delgado? All right, I'm gonna need you to speak up, okay?
Yes, ma'am.
Showing you what's entitled Motion to Revoke Community Supervision. Did you review that document with your attorney? Did you understand it?
Yes, ma'am.
All right, everyone, please whisper. Are you the same Ralph Emmanuel Delgado who was placed on community supervision in 2022 CR 2672 for the offense of possession of a controlled substance, penalty group 1, less than 1 gram, on April 20, 2022 for a term of 2 years? Is that you?
Yes, ma'am.
All right, state.
Violated condition number 4 in Bear County, Texas, the defendant, Ralph Emmanuel Delgado, then and there failed to report to the supervision officer as directed for the months of December 2022, June and July 2023, in violation of condition number 4.
How do you plead to that? True or not true?
True.
Your Honor, state waives all the violations.
Any objections?
No objections, Your Honor.
Mr. Delgado, did you understand by pleading true to violation of condition number 4, the court could find it true, grant the motion, and sentence you up to 1 year in the state jail facility?
Yes, ma'am.
Knowing that, do you still wish to plead true to violation of condition number 4?
Yes.
Court will find violation of condition number 4 true. Is there a proposed agreement?
Yes, Your Honor, and we have discussed it with probation. It's to deny the motion and alter and amend for access services and ISP.
That is your agreement, Your Honor.
All right, Mr. Delgado, are you asking the court to follow that agreement?
Yes, ma'am.
Are you waiving your right to appeal?
Yes, ma'am.
All right, could you raise your right hand for me, please? Do you solemnly swear or affirm the testimony you give will be the truth and nothing but the truth, so help you God?
Yes, ma'am.
All right, you can lower your hand, state your name for the record.
Ralph E. Delgado.
All right, Mr. Delgado, why have you not been reporting what's going on?
Well, actually, I did report, but when I reported, because they had me signed in the day that I had left, my appointment was at 11. And, my probation officer, he came out about 11:15 and I saw him and he called her name and I thought it was me, so I started getting up to go over there. And then he told me to sit back down. So I sat back down and I sat there till like, 12:15, 12:30, something.
All right,
like
so you're saying this has happened each month because you have not reported for more than 1 month. And you haven't been, although they're not considering it, and I'm not going to take it in consideration, but it also says in the motion to revoke, you have not been submitting to drug testing. Here's the thing. Both of them, the state and defense have come to an agreement to continue you. Probation obviously wants to continue to work with you. But if you're not going to be honest, and if you just want to go to the state jail facility, I'll just send you to the state jail facility and you can get help on your own. But if there's something going on in your world that is making you unsuccessful at this probation, you need to let the court know. Because there are other people that we can place in ISF. It's not unlimited. You know, we don't have unlimited space in ISF. We don't have unlimited space for people to get help with their drug issues. So if you just want to do your time, you can do your time and be done.
I'll take the probation.
All right. So why are you not being successful at probation? That's what I'm trying to figure out.
The one time I didn't go on the day that he wanted me to, it was like 3 o'clock in the afternoon. And he wanted me to go from the probation officer on 90 to downtown. And I didn't get there till 4:30, and then they already quit the testing. So, but I did go the next day, but I didn't get there the day that he assigned me to.
Okay. All right. And so with regards to potential mental health, how are we going to work with that probation?
Access services, the outpatient treatment with the Center for Healthcare Services that provides case management for all mental health services.
All right. How
Whether
long?
or not you have insurance.
All right. Let me ask you this. How long will it take for them to set him up with that?
To be completely honest, I don't have a time frame. We have to send over the referral. This is something new that's been brought to our attention. But my understanding is it's been great success.
All right. So then this is what we will do then. I don't think, oh, and you sent the email. Thank you so much, Bashan. All right. So then this is what I want to do. I'm going to deny the motion. Alternate amend conditions to include access services through CHCS. And instead of going to state ISF, I'm going to do a jail sanction for him. And we can set up the access. Can we do that?
We didn't ask for state ISF. We asked for that ISP program, which is
Ah,
high risk.
okay.
High risk, so that we can check on him.
How often will you be checking on him with that?
At least 1 to 2 times a month.
All right.
He'll check in more often and we'll go to his home more often.
All right. So how does everybody feel about a 2-week Bexar County jail sanction so that we can get the access services set up?
State's fine with it.
Probation?
2 more weeks in jail with me?
Yes.
Before I can be released?
Because do you have a place to stay?
Yes.
Who are you staying with?
I had just bought me a travel trailer.
I'm sorry, what?
I had just purchased a travel trailer for a home and I set it up on a lot on 15891 Hensley Road.
Okay, what did he say?
He said he just purchased a travel trailer and set it up. I didn't get the address.
15891 Hensley Road.
All right.
Your Honor, I did not know that the access program will do his evaluation.
They will not?
I don't think so.
All right, so I'll deny the motion, alternate amend conditions to include access service through Center for Healthcare Services and then do ISP. And you're to provide today probation your address. Do you understand?
Yes.
All right, is there anything else from either side?
Nothing further.
Mr. Caroline, I'm showing you what's entitled Court Admonishments and Defendants Waivers and Affidavit of Admonitions. Did you review that with your attorney? Did you understand it? Did you sign it in all the appropriate places?
Yes, ma'am, I do so. Yes, ma'am.
All right, did you understand in count one and in count two, you're charged with assault on a peace officer or judge bodily injury? That's a second-degree felony in each count. The range of punishment is anywhere from 2 to 20 years and up to a $10,000 fine in each count. Did you understand?
Yes, ma'am.
If you have a plea with the state, the court does not have to follow your plea. If for any reason the court does not follow your plea and gives you more than you bargained for, the fact that you entered a plea will not be used against you and you will be allowed to withdraw your plea. Did you understand?
Yes, ma'am.
Did you understand you have a right to jury trial, a right for you and your attorney to cross-examine and confront any witnesses the state would call in the right to remain silent?
Yes, ma'am.
Did you understand by entering this plea, you were giving up those rights?
Yes, ma'am.
And did you intend to give up those rights and enter into a plea in this case?
Yes, ma'am.
Counsel, has your client been able to provide you with any defenses?
Yes, he has, Your Honor.
Do you believe he has a rational as well as a factual understanding of the charges against him?
I believe he does.
Do you believe he's currently competent and was legally sane at the time of the offense?
Yes, I believe he was.
Mr. Caroline, has anyone threatened you, coerced you, or placed you in fear to get you to enter this plea?
No, they haven't, ma'am.
Has anyone promised you anything other than the plea?
No, they haven't.
Are you satisfied with the way you've been represented?
Okay.
Are you a U.S. citizen?
Yes, ma'am.
Court will find that defendant has knowingly and voluntarily waived his right to jury trial.
Yes, ma'am.
All right, I'm going to show you what's entitled the plea bargain page. Did you review that with your attorney? Did you understand it?
Yes, ma'am.
According to the plea, the state is proceeding on count one and count two. Punishment is to be assessed at 5 years in the prison in each count. There's a $1,500 fine. Is that to be in each count?
Yes.
And also the state is recommending community supervision. Did you understand that to be the plea?
Yes, ma'am.
Defense, is that the plea?
That's our plea.
State, is that the plea? Showing you the waiver of appeal paragraph. Did you review that with your attorney? Did you understand it? Did you sign it in both places?
Yes, ma'am.
Did you understand by signing that you're waiving your right to appeal? The only items that can be appealed are written pretrial motions that have been filed, heard, and ruled upon by the court. Did you understand?
Yes, ma'am.
Counsel, have there been any such motions?
No, there is not.
Outside the plea, the state is requesting that your community supervision,
It was $200, sir. Is what you were going to request.
that your community supervision be for a term of 5 years, there be a TAP evaluation and 200 hours of community service restitution. Did you understand those were recommendations from the state and the court does not have to follow those recommendations?
Yes, ma'am.
Then to count one, how do you plead? Guilty, not guilty, or no contest?
Guilty.
Count two, how do you plead? Guilty, not guilty, or no contest?
Guilty.
State any evidence.
Your Honor, state exhibit number one with all its attachments.
Any objection?
No objection, Your Honor.
You may continue to confirm. Showing you what's entitled waiving consent to stipulation of testimony and stipulations. Did you review that with your attorney? Did you understand it? Did you sign it in all the appropriate places?
Yes, ma'am.
Again, did you understand you have a right to jury trial, a right for you or your attorney to cross-examine and confront any witnesses the state would call in the right to remain silent?
Yes, ma'am.
Did you understand that today the state will be presenting evidence in the form of witnesses' statements and police reports, but most importantly, there will be no live testimony? Did you understand?
Yes, ma'am.
Court will find that defendant has knowingly and voluntarily waived and consented to stipulation of testimony and stipulations. Court will accept into evidence states exhibits one and attachments and review the same.
No objection.
All right, after reviewing states exhibits one and attachments, the court will find there is sufficient evidence to find you guilty of count one. Court will find you guilty of count one. After reviewing states exhibits one and attachments, the court will find there is sufficient evidence to find you guilty of count two, and the court will find you guilty of count two. Are you proceeding with sentencing?
Yes, Your Honor. We waive PSI.
Anything you wish to say on behalf of your client?
Your Honor, it's court appointed, so I asked the court to take that into consideration of assessing fine and then the amount of community service. Do you have a place to stay once you get released, if you are released on probation?
The VA hospital was what I was.
You were gonna go to the VA hospital?
Yes, ma'am. Yes, sir.
That's
That's where I was hoping to go.
He's a retired veteran, Your Honor.
Okay.
No, I was honorably discharged for.
After 4 years, you were
Yes.
honorably discharged.
Yes, sir. Yes, sir.
He served honorably overseas in the late eighties.
88, I was a Persian Gulf veteran. I was in MEGTF 388, MUSOC Marine Expeditionary Unit Special Operations Capabilities. We were a raider force in the Persian Gulf in that period of time
He was a Marine.
in the
Okay.
Marine Corps.
All right, well, let's do this. Before I make a ruling on sentencing, Bashan, can you see if Herman can come down? Let's see if someone from Veterans Treatment Court can come down because I want to make sure that he has housing in place. So if y'all will just wait a moment, we'll call someone from Veterans Treatment Court to speak with you, and then I'll make a ruling on on your sentence.
You know, how long will it take? I got another court. I'm doing a plea.
Oh, just, it'll probably take 10 minutes or 15 minutes. Where are you going to be?
The 144th.
All right, if you want to go ahead and go to the 144th, how long do you anticipate that taking?
It's gonna be a plea, however, wherever I am at.
All right, so if you
I'll be
could,
back in a half hour.
all right, so if you can see
In State of
if
Texas
he can come
versus
here by
Robert Edmund
10:30.
Caroline, the judge hears a serious case where a military veteran pleads guilty to 2 counts of assault on a peace officer, both second-degree felonies. The courtroom pauses as the judge learns he served honorably in the Persian Gulf War and may have nowhere to live if released. Instead of rushing punishment, the judge asks Veterans Treatment Court to step in before sentencing. Will service to the country earn him a second chance, or will prison decide his fate? Like, share, and subscribe for fast, real court cases explained.